Sometimes people get riled up about something small, like a book or a movie, and they try to ban them. If this works, then people will no longer be able to view that material. If someone doesn't want to read something or view it, then they shouldn't. They also shouldn't ruin the book or the movie for someone else just because they are offended. It goes against their religion. It goes against someone's morals. It goes against... No! Stop. People have the right to read and view what they want. It's called the First Amendment. Heard of it? It grants the right of free speech and the right to view whatever you want. Awesome, right? Now, some might say that books are banned because they're inappropriate. If they're found in schools, libraries, or textbooks, shouldn't they be banned so that kids don't have easy or any access to them? Shouldn't the schools have books on any material? Shouldn't kids be able to learn about things that A, happen in the real world, and B, shouldn't the people in charge of the kids, like their parents, be looking at what the kids are reading and determining whether or not it is appropriate? These are several very important things to remember when thinking about banning materials. These are also the reasons why people should not ban books or other materials. A lot of people think that banning books and other materials is fine and even necessary. They think that since some books and movies have inappropriate things in them, shouldn't they be banned so that kids who are very easy to influence are not corrupted by ideas in the materials? Well, no, because if people ban books just because they have something like, say, homosexuality or ideas that could change the world, they could easily forget what the real world is actually like. They could accidentally corrupt themselves into thinking that our world is perfect. At some point, they would not be able to tell what reality was and what was all in our heads. Now, if books are found in schools that are inappropriate, what then? Well, let them learn. If the material is too hardcore, then the school can remove it from its library. The rest of the world can enjoy the book, and the school won't get into any trouble. Problem solved. Some books have been banned, though, that really shouldn't have been banned at all, simply because they are great works and look at a lot of different ideas and past events. For example, the book Diary of a Young Girl by Anne Frank was on the line to be banned in Michigan simply because it made the kids uncomfortable to read it. Another book that was banned was Huckleberry Finn by Mark Twain for being trash. As one article says, Huckleberry Finn was not suitable for trash, as the librarians of Concord, Massachusetts, who banned the book in 1855, put it. Nearly 130 years since then, this novel has been challenged, defended, banned, expurgated, which means to remove matter thought to be objectionable or unsuitable from a book or account, and boulderized, which means to remove material that is considered improper. Numerous times by parents, educators, publishers, and librarians. This book was banned because it has some sensitive subjects that today might be offending. That's it. Forget about the great plot, the writing style, the awesome intelligence that the book has, and the learning experience that can come from it. Just toss all that aside because it made a few people uncomfortable. That is the problem with banning books. People throw out a really good learning experience when someone bans a book, not to mention a perfectly good book. Stated in the last paragraph, there are several books that could have a good influence in our societies. Mark Twain's Huckleberry Finn taught about how you can't judge someone by their skin color and that not every story has a happy ending. Like Diary of a Young Girl, That book didn't end very happily, and yet it still has things that you can learn from it. For example, it taught us the importance of staying with your values and not backing down, even if you could get hurt or could get arrested for it, not to mention being killed for those ideas. These are valuable lessons that were simply cast aside because they were deemed inappropriate to read. That's not right to ban something that you can learn from. If people ban things that they can learn from, eventually they will start to lose the ability to define between lies and the real world because they're trying to trick and force themselves into believing that their world is perfect and to ignore their problems. And speaking of ignoring, books and movies that have been banned actually get a lot more recognition than they would have if they had not been banned. These materials get very popular even if they might have failed otherwise, because people get excited when materials are banned. It's like a big red flag screaming, "I'm here, I want to be heard, and you can't stop me." People are drawn to this, and because of that, materials get a lot of recognition even if you are trying to get rid of them. So there's the lesson in that little bit. Ban something, and it will get a lot of recognition, even if you don't want it to. And way more people will see it because it was banned, so don't ban things. People still have a lot to learn, and if they can't have the material to do so, how will they? As you can see, there are many more reasons to simply ignore something you don't like than to ban it. Because as soon as you ban something, people will flock to it to see what the fuss is all about. People who say that banning is fine because it keeps their kids from being corrupted do not see the value of learning from things and learning about things that happen in the real world. They also do not see that if they just keep feeding themselves and their kids lies about what is happening, then they will not be able to tell the difference between reality and the lies. These reasons are why people should not ban books, but instead embrace them for their ideas and differences.